going to quickly demonstrate how to swap out or install an Orbit Wi-Fi enabled irrigation timer. I already have one installed in my home. For whatever reason, still works, but the app is a little glitchy on it. I called Orbit customer support, and it looks like it was just something that got messed up with the controller, with the firmware. So they were awesome. They walked me through a couple of steps that didn't work. They just sent me a brand new unit, got it within a week. So right now we're gonna walk through actually swapping out my old Beehive for the new unit. All right, so you can see I have my unit right here. It's mounted on the wall in my mudroom. It's not really much to it. See, there's cover, the front panel has all the buttons to control. You can open it up, you can see the circuit board in the back over here taking the wires from each one of the valves coming from outside. So right now we are going to swap this unit with the brand new one. Not really much that we have to do other than switching the wires for each one of the valves and then reconnecting them on to the new unit. And then all we're going to do is just pop out the little rings over here. So we have the wires coming from outside. We actually have a hole drilled from the outside coming into the home. And then you can see here that little pop out ring. All the wires are going up into the actual unit. Basically each one of these red wires are basically the live wire that's sending the signal to the valve to turn it on and off. This white is just a ground. So each manifold, each valve will have a red, and then the white just kind of goes in series and then comes here. I have two valves, one on the left side of the one on the left side of my house and one on the right side of my house. So each one of those has their own ground, and that's what's here. You can see I have a 12 zone timer, but I only have 10 zones. I left one open on each side. That's kind of how I numbered them, thinking that it would be easier in the future if I want to add a zone to each side. I don't have to tinker with it and kind of mess with it. I figured, the left side of my house is zones 1 through 6, and then kind of said 7 through 8 or 7 through 12 would be the right side of my house. So kind of just left it as is and gave myself the opportunity to expand it by one zone if need be. Alright guys, I just went and got some tools to help us do this. So basically got my Ryobi drill. I'll be using a little drill bit to kind of pop a little hole in the bottom of the Orbit Beehive unit. Just got to be very careful. They give you a very little screwdriver that works for the screws that are on the circuit board. So got that ready to go. And I also have a flathead screwdriver, and we got some Gorilla Tape. So what I'm going to do with the Gorilla Tape is, as I take them off the circuit board here, I'm going to be adhering them to the tape. I know they're kind of bent and they've been in place now since last fall, so I'm sure they're probably a little stiff and they'll probably stay as is, but don't want to be having issues with zones kind of going off of out of whack. I don't want zone 1 to turn on when I'm thinking I'm watering zone 3. So we'll be doing the Gorilla Tape in just a moment, but first I got to take away this little, this little wire concealment setup that I have here. So put that down and we'll start popping these out. You can see right here is where the wire from outside, or all the wires from outside, are coming in, just to kind of make it more of a protective setup. Actually, on the outside, over here, I got a 1-inch PVC and slid all the wires through here. So there's actually more protection on the outside. So let's figure out what this is. Yep, it's just all snapped in place. So instead of trying to rip all of it off, which I probably should have looked at before. But now, this just unplug. And now we're gonna go through the process of undoing these. So I'm gonna bring the camera closer. So I'm just having the tape sit up here for a moment. So I'm going to start with the furthest most cable. Just bend that down. That's going to be one. So one thing I did not account for was the fact that I need to slide this up. So I'm going to gently push these back. So I know this is ground. I know this is zone 11 according to the way the wiring is set up. Just keep doing this. Pop that out. Gently pull this back. That is now zone 10. And just keep repeating the process one by one until we get all of them out. All right, now that we got all the wires kind of taped up in order of how they need to go back in, now it's time to just take off the bottom screw, which is the only one that mounts it. The other one is kind of in the wall and it just kind of slides and hangs that way. So got the screw out. Now this thing should be able to just go. And my old Orbit Beehive unit is now out of the wall. Now we just got to get the new one set up. So put this one to the side. So yeah, it's mangled up a little bit in the bottom. Took the little drill bit and kind of made all the little all the space that I needed down here to get the wires back through. The thing doesn't easily pop off. So first thing we're gonna do is right here, pull this tab. I guess it's like a battery backup. So I'm gonna take that off. One other step that I forgot, the bottom screw here was fairly close to the top. It screws into the wall, so instead of kind of hanging it up and then trying to do this, I'm just gonna put one or two small little holes right here. Kind of hold this in place. That should be good. Alright guys, so now that that's ready, we're gonna put this back on the wall. So we're gonna do that. I'm gonna make sure this cable management system kind of gets tucked back in. So that's back on. We're gonna get this mounted. It's on good, it's not going anywhere. So now we are going to put these wires back in one by one. So this is zone 1. I'm going to start up actually by loosening up all these screws first. Make it easier on myself. So going one by one. Those should be loose enough to accept the wires now. So I'm going to try to put these back in. So enough to get a good connection, and now I'm going to tighten this back up. There you go, that should be good. And this is zone 2. Alright guys, so I fed all the wires back through. They're on. Always, as I was about to say, make sure you give it a little tug to make sure they're in good. So that needs to be tightened. So, nice little, that one's a little loose. Good. They're all good. Just gonna go back over and try to give them another little half turn, just for peace of mind. Alright, so that's good. Now, moment of truth. Plugging it in. And we are going to take a peek. Looks like we're good. Right now you can see it's trying to connect via Bluetooth to something, but we'll get this set up on the Orbit Beehive app and we'll get this connected to the Wi-Fi so I can control it. But it looks like we're in business, and I'll give it a quick try once I get it set up on the app, just to start up a 1 or 2 zones, just for like a quick moment, so I could see that it's actually working properly.
Alright guys, so this is me going into my Orbit app. I'm going to select set up a new device, select the device I have, which is a timer. Basically got to make sure that the device is powered on. You're going to click the button. It's going to start searching for the device near your phone. It originally connects through Bluetooth, and then you can see it found the device here. You're going to click matches my device, and then it basically creates a link from your timer to your app on your phone. And then once you get into it, you could set it up and connect it to your Wi-Fi network. That way you can control it from wherever you are. It doesn't just have to be through Bluetooth. So yeah, that's all there is to it.
Alright guys, so the Wi-Fi settings are all set up on my controller. Everything's done, powered up. So now just went to my app and kind of did a manual watering session, and we can see my sprinkler heads are going. That's on this zone here. So I think we're good.